Welcome everybody to this webinar, which serves as the formal launch of the IDF Early Career Scientist Prize in honour of Pavel Paul Jelen. My name is Jeffrey Smithers. I'm the chair of the action team that both on behalf of IDF established this new prize in 2022. And I'm also chair of the action team in a continuing role as we manage the annual competition for the award of this annual prize. I'm pleased to say that for this formal launch, we're fortunate to have 2 and hopefully 3 of our 4 place getters from 2022, and we'll come to them in a moment. I'll introduce them. And it's fortunate in that they can provide a very insightful comment on the prize, the way it was run, their perspectives on the dairy industry, and in fact why they entered the competition. And hopefully that will encourage others to enter the competition in 2023. A little bit of background about why IDF established this prize. I think we can all agree that the now century-long tradition of IDF will only be sustainable into the future if we continually attract the best and the brightest to the dairy sector and to the work of the Federation. One approach that we pursued in the establishment of this prize is to provide a means by which students, postdocs, and in fact, early career scientists and technologists in general can showcase their work in front of a global dairy audience at the industry's premier annual event, the IDF World Dairy Summit, held annually. With this in mind, the IDF has established this new recognition to be awarded annually at the summit, the IDF Early Career Scientist Prize. The organising team that I led believed that it was only fitting for this new IDF prize to be named in honour of a dairy scientist who has dedicated their professional life to education, mentoring, research and development, communication, and the activities of IDF. As such, this new IDF prize was named in honour of Professor Pavel Paul Jelen from Canada, who has spent 5 decades ensuring that the best and the brightest dedicate their professional lives to dairy science and technology and to the ideals and the work of the IDF. Hence the name of this prize, the IDF Early Career Scientist Prize in honour of Pavel Jelen. The inaugural year last year, 2022, as I mentioned, attracted quite a large number of very high quality applications. In fact, these applications were of such a high quality that the judging panel could not cull them down to 3 prize winners, first, second and third. So we awarded 4 place getters. First place getter, Angela Costa, who's with us today from Italy. In equal second place was Prabin Labuschagne from Ireland. In equal second place was Debrashri Roy from New Zealand. And I'm hopeful that we have all 3 with us today. I know we have Angela and Prabin. I'm not sure, Maria, if you have Debrashri with us. No?
Yeah, I'm here. Yes.
Oh, you are here. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I know we were waiting for you earlier, but that's great that you could join.
Yeah.
So the way we're going to, I guess, formally launch the prize and the competition for 2023 is essentially to ask our 3 place getters, who we are fortunate to have with us today, some questions about the dairy industry, some questions about why they applied for the award, and their perspectives on the prize in general. So I'll ask each of them a series of questions, and hopefully for those people listening in and watching, it can give you some perspective on the prize and encourage you to apply for the prize this year. So the first question is to each of our place getters with us. Tell us about your current professional and scientific activities. So we'll start perhaps with Angela.
Yeah, so thank you, Geoffrey, for the introduction. So I'm Angela Costa from the University of Bologna in Italy. The University of Bologna is one of the oldest, or I would say the oldest university in the world, founded in 1088. And actually, what I'm doing now here, I have the role of assistant professor since October last year. I was before in Padova University as a postdoc. And my research interests are on dairy cattle, animal health and welfare aspects, but also MIR spectroscopy. So indeed, my prize was achieved, thanks to a presentation on MIR spectroscopy applied to colostrum. And basically what I'm looking for forward to working on is now young stock survival and resilience aspect of dairy cows, and continuing with the use of MIR spectroscopy in milk for the definition of biomarker that can be useful to monitor such aspects. Oh, we don't hear you, Geoffrey, maybe.
Sorry, I was muted. Let's go to Pravin. Thank you, Angela.
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much, Geoffrey and Maria, and all the committee for giving me this opportunity to present here or to give this webinar. So my name is Pravin Lamithani, and I'm a research officer here in Chagas. Chagas is a Agriculture and Food Development Authority in Ireland. So I have been working here in Chagas since 2020, and currently I'm working. My main focus is on doing research in cheese and other fermented dairy products. So currently there are 3 projects running in my group. So one project investigate about the effect of understanding the effect of breed, cow genetics, cow diet on the quality of cheddar type of cheese. And the second project is partly funded by industry, and it's about incorporating vitamin D in cheese metrics. And also there's another project which is about understanding the effect of freezing on the quality of cheese and other fermented dairy, cheese and liquid dairy concentrate. So mostly my research is around cheese and other fermented dairy products. Thank you.
Thank you. Debrashri?
Yeah, yes. Thank you, Geoffrey, for the introduction. My name is Devashri, as Geoffrey introduced. I'm currently a postdoctoral fellow with the Reddit Institute in New Zealand. So Reddit Institute is a center of research excellence in New Zealand. It's actually the only center of research excellence in New Zealand that is supported by, that is around more than 50% supported by government funding. So as part of my project, I am been working on understanding the digestion behavior of milk from different species. So it was mostly in the area of food structure and digestion. And now what I'm doing is that I'm still working in this area of food matrix, where we are trying to look at different baby foods. So we do have an industry supported project where I am part of the team, and we are working on baby foods. We are also working on understanding the digestion behavior of human milk from the aspects which have never been studied before, which is human breast milk. as well as we are previously have also worked on validating some of the in vitro and preclinical animal and have used preclinical animal to validate the digestion behavior in vitro and in vivo. But now we are trying to take a step forward and will be doing much more studies in humans using MRI. So those are some of the projects which are the major projects which are currently in my portfolio. But along with that, I'm also working on understanding the digestion behavior of the alternative proteins, because we believe if we are in this space, we do need to understand the behavior of alternative proteins as well, because those are emerging along with dairy too, and it will always be an and space in future. Yeah.
Thank you. As you can see, the prize attracted a number of applications across a broad spectrum of dairy science and technology, and that's one thing the organising committee would like to see this year, is a spectrum of activities that span the whole dairy science and technology spectrum. Let me continue. Maybe we'll go in reverse order. Debashri, tell me what motivated you to apply last year for this prize?
Well, I think when I came across, like, my supervisor first forwarded me this, that hey, here is this this press release, because before that I had no idea. I never used to get the press release of IDF. So he first forwarded me this and he's like, will you be keen to apply for it? So I looked at it and my first thought was, well, there will be all the world leading experts who will be coming to this conference. And when I also looked at the previous World Dairy Summits, I realized that it's not the usual way. It's not a usual conference where you just submit an abstract and you can go and present over there. So it's hard to get access to World Dairy Summit. So I think what motivated me was that if I apply for it, and if I get it, then, well, I can go and meet all the dairy experts from different parts as well as from different sectors, and I'll get to learn quite a lot, and plus as well as network and connect. Yeah, that was my first thought. So I just give it a go.
That's excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
Pravin?
Yeah, similar to Debashri, what she was saying. So same kind of thing. I saw advertisement in LinkedIn, and I catches my eyes with the name, like the Professor Pavel Jelen, and I was interested, and I looked at the requirement, and I fit in the requirement. And I think because I'm doing research, I'm in academia, and this is good for me, because when you apply for funding, there is one section, they say like the quality of applicant. So the quality means for early career scientists, like the number of awards, and also publication, those kind of things. So the if I get this award, then I've thought that it will significantly improve my profile, and it did, it does. And so that's the one motivation. And another motivation is networking opportunity, and also present my work in front of renowned dairy scientists. So those are the motivators. Like that's why I applied for this award.
Thank you. Angela?
Well, what I could add, I mean, also in my case, the promoter was my supervisor at that time, Professor Massimo De Marchi. Well, actually, he forwarded me this call, and we discussed it a bit together, and we said, okay, our research could be interesting for them, because we had a look at the IDF working groups and the topics they were dealing with. And so we were kind of confident that our work was interesting for the IDF, but then it was quite sure I would have achieved something. I was not really sure as well, but then I did it, and we were really, really happy of this achievement, and also because of the relevance and the visibility of such an award. That is really important when you think your research deserve dissemination, deserve to be kind of spread, then similar opportunities must be taken.
It's from a member of the organizing committee, it's great to hear this feedback, because all the things you've said were actually designed into this prize, to get you to the World Dairy Summit, to get you to be able to present your work in front of a global dairy audience, in front of experts, to network with others, not just to present your work, but to talk about it as you network during the summit. So that's exactly what we built into this award and what was intended. So it's great to hear that feedback. Let me move on and ask you what you all three think about some of the major opportunities for the dairy sector at the moment. We'll start with Angela.
Yeah, well, I would call them challenges more than opportunities, but yeah, I think that us as young researchers, well, we have some responsibilities. So we have to make the dairy sector, in the case of IDF, of course, the dairy sector more resilient and flexible and ready to react, because we have such a lot of social pressure, and not only social pressure, but we have some, we have to deal with some concerns nowadays from the society, but also from some important institutions in terms of animal welfare, so ethical concerns and sustainability, so environmental concerns. So what I think now we have to work on is to fight against disinformation and misinformation, and to improve the knowledge of the people in all categories, of all education level, of all ages, of all countries, because it's important that the dairy products and milk continue to be part of our diet, of the human diet, because they are essential and fundamental. So I would call them opportunities, but also challenging at the same time. Yeah.
Well, I guess challenges can be opportunities. It's just how you look at it.
For sure.
Robin?
That's why we are here.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, milk, when you look, it's a white kind of liquid, but it's very complex. And it's like full of nutrient. You can see like highly bioavailable proteins, high quality proteins, lipids, and also highly bioavailable minerals such as calcium, phosphorus, zinc, and so many things like. And also some fermented dairy product, they contain bioactive compounds such as bioactive peptides. So I would say like there's opportunity for dairy, like dairy can be to meet the requirement of nutritional requirement of all stages of in your life, and also like health promoting compounds. So we cannot underestimate the value of dairy. So I think we need to do more research on that area to explore more of the health and nutritional benefit of dairy. So that's the one opportunity. And another opportunity I find maybe, it's a very versatile dairy product. So dairy is very versatile because you can make so many things. You can make powder, you can make cheese, you can make yogurt, fermented dairy. And I think there's still a lot we can do. For example, one thing I can give, like we can make cheese puff, like that's the one example in innovation. So there is a lot of innovation we can do. Like we can use dairy matrix as a delivery of a nutrient, like we can. So I think the versatility of dairy and the nutrition and health, these are the two important opportunities. So I think we need to use those opportunities. We need to do more research to explore further.
Thank you. Debrashu?
Yeah. Well, I do agree with the discussions which are going on over here. Like, actually, challenges will drive the opportunities. And we know that the global consumer preferences are ever changing. Then there are like concerns around sustainability. So there are quite a lot of challenges that the dairy is facing, but what we understand that the dairy foods are an integral part of our lives and they are nutritious. They are the most nutritious foods that we can think of. So the only way we could tackle these challenges is by driving innovation. So I think innovation in food products has to continue if we want to, and also consumer education. So like as Praveen mentioned, like working on innovative foods or innovative concepts that could explain to the consumers in what way these foods are nutritious to our body, will be very key. But along with that, I don't think, along with that, I think working on the sustainability aspect as well. There is quite a lot of work going on in low carbon footprint. So, and it's not just for the dairy sector, because if we look at the alternative protein sector, the same challenge is for them as well, but somehow that is not getting communicated. But what we could do as a sector is that, well, we in ourselves as an industry, we could make our efforts to make our processes and make our food products more better. That's what we could do. So yeah, because we know all the food products will exist, but how do we communicate consumers that this is the best source of nutrition? I think that's those are some of the biggest challenges. Yeah.
Thank you all. The very important perspectives, I think. Now let me turn to, I think you all three of you attended in person at the Dairy Summit in Delhi last year. Is that right? You all attended?
No, I was about to attend, but because of some personal issue, I wasn't able to attend, but I attended virtually.
Okay. But Angela and Debrashri, you attended in person, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll ask Angela and Debrashri to tell us a little bit about your experience at the World Dairy Summit in India. Maybe Angela, you go first.
Yeah, I mean, it was my first time in India. It was a lifetime experience, really, and also professionally and personally, because, well, I had the opportunity to get in touch with people I would never met in my life, maybe, without this opportunity. So I think young people like us, well, need more events like this, because as Debashri said before, we used to go to these conventional congresses and meetings where you submit an abstract and that's it, and experts are in front of you asking questions. But well, what we need is instead having a 360-degree overview and having people working in different areas in front of you asking questions and showing interest, but at the same time also willing to ask and willing to know more what you are doing and why your research is so important and so relevant in your field. It's really, really an unforgettable feeling. And well, what is important from my point of view is that in this era, we are asked to work for a more sustainable sector, for a more sustainable, for more sustainable products. So we have to work with different people, expert in different fields. Collaboration is extremely important, because if you think that most of the time we have to promote the consumption of dairy foods. So we also touch the topic of the One Health approach. So having also the opportunity to listen to different standpoints, different perception, different perspective, it's extremely important. And I think that only events like the World Dairy Summit of IDF could be a good stage where to discuss this type of topics with this wide audience all together at the same time. That's constructive criticism, but constructive.
Debrashri?
Yeah. Well, I'm from India, so for me, like I have.
You were going home.
Yeah. But I was going home after 4 years because I finished my PhD first year, and then after that COVID kind of, and then I went to India, and then when I came back, and then just after a year, the COVID happened. So I think I went to India after 4 or 5 years. And this was my first conference, that too that I attended in India. So personally, I felt a bit proud as well, proud of myself. That was just me, that, well, I'm presenting my work at a World Dairy Summit that's happening in India. And it was, and just to see its scale, it was massive. Like, it's being inaugurated by India's Prime Minister. So that itself speaks of its importance, like of the dairy sector importance in India for livelihood of starting from livelihood to sustainability to how nutritious the food is. So that, seeing that whole scale, I doubt I could have seen it in any other dairy functionality or nutrition conference. So yeah, the World Dairy Summit, it gives you this big picture of what, when we say dairy sector, what it means. So that's something I really enjoyed. And then I also observed that most of the people who come over there are experienced ones. So when I went and I met Angela, we're like, well, we are the early career researchers over there. So it's quite enjoying, and everyone was very welcoming, and talked, means at the conference we could talk to everyone and yeah, connect quite a lot. So it was quite, means very, I literally enjoyed it quite a lot. So it was good.
Well, it's great to hear your perspectives. I've been going to World Dairy Summits for a long time, and it's interesting to hear your comments about other conferences versus the summit. I mean, IDF's, I see it as a bit like a family, and the annual summit is a bit like an annual family gathering. And it's nice to hear your perspectives as first-time attendees, that you felt the same thing. So that's really great to hear. Finally, let me ask you all to comment on what you would say to any potential candidates who are considering applying for the prize this year. What would you say to them to encourage them? Praveen, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I would say, like, I highly recommend early career scientists who work in dairy sector, who is doing research in dairy sector. So because, as I said already, there's a multiple benefit. So you can present your work in front of renowned dairy scientists. You can meet them, and you can strengthen your profile, because this is a prestigious award given by prestigious organization, which is International Dairy Federation. And on top of it, its award is given after the world-renowned dairy scientist, which is Professor Pavel Jelen. So the name itself is a very big. So I highly recommend. So those are the things. A little bit, work a little bit hard on the making abstract. Like, give some time to make it more attractive. So yeah, that's my suggestion.
Thank you. Angela?
Well, what I would say to that person, apply, do it, and try, trust on you, because if you think your research deserves to be public, to be published and to be disseminated, well, that's a good opportunity. So the award is one benefit, but then with this type of opportunity, you will be able to reach people you will never reach with just one paper published in a very specific journal. So if your research deserves and is has a wide interest, could be a high impact on a different levels, well, try to do that, because the evaluating committee also kind of recognize and acknowledge the horizontality of your idea and the importance that your project and your study could have on different aspects and different perspectives. So I would say that, and trust on you, because I also was never really positive when I applied, but believe me, then when you see the email, yeah, you're elected as a winner of the Jelen Pavel, it's an unforgettable feeling, really, and a big emotion. Yeah,
that's great. Debashree?
Yeah, I think Angela and Praveen has already mentioned most of it. But to add on to it, yeah, I'll also agree with them that just apply for it. If you believe in your work and you believe in the quality of your work, just go for it. It takes a bit of time to prepare your abstract and make a video presentation, because that's also quite a lot of effort, but it's worth it because in this whole process, you will learn about it. And one thing that I also liked about the award, that there are other awards for early career researcher as well, where at times your either someone like especially your mentor or your supervisor has to nominate you. But with this award, what I particularly really like that no one has to nominate you for it. So you write the abstract, you define the quality of the work, you justify it, and then you make a presentation. So it's quite driven by the participant itself rather than someone else recommending you. And then it goes through a judging panel. So here you are in charge of what you how you want to disseminate your work or share with the world. So yes, just go for it. So I think it's something that you should definitely try. Yeah, that's what I'll say.
That's an excellent point, and that was also one of the design factors in the award, that we wanted the candidate to do most of the driving. And another factor I should add was we wanted to modernize, shall we say, the process of applying for the prize. So it includes a traditional abstract, which you would find with most applications, but also a short video. And I think that brings some modern element to the application process. Did you find that interesting or challenging? Let me ask maybe Angela first.
Well, it was different than usual. That's what I thought immediately. But it was really good because I could somehow give some emphasis to some aspects that maybe from a skeptical abstract could not be possible to stress as I would like to. But yeah, it was challenging because I asked to some colleagues to suggest me the right position and the right background and whatever. But then it was kind of acceptable, let's say, from the quality point of view. But then I think that's yeah, it is kind of a modern element that you add. It is also really, really good because you could see also the passion of people that it is presenting, and yeah, so definitely it is a really good element to keep also in future calls.
You've got anything to add, Pravin or Debashri, to that?
Yeah, yeah, I think abstract, like you can do some little bit of creativity in abstract, but in video you can do a lot of creativity. You can present your work in a, like I would say like abstract is more like silent, but like you are giving voice to your abstract. So I think the videos, I really like the idea of putting video in the competition. So I really appreciate for that one. Yeah.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, yes, same here. I'll say that I think the video is the challenging part as well, because you need to know your story too very, very well. But I think in video, like what happens with us in any presentation, if we're giving a presentation, sometimes we are able to explain ourselves better. So abstract sometimes could look scientific, but you may not be able to communicate what you're trying to say. So, but the video is that opportunity where you explain them what's the impact in a very simplistic language. So yes, it's challenging, but it's worth trying. Actually, I used tripod for the first time for it because I had my tripod always that I'm going to use it for something. And that was my first use of a very formal tripod. And that's what I used for my video. So yeah, it's some learning. Yeah.
Okay, it's great to hear the perspective. I have to say, watching all the videos from the applications, they were extremely good, very professional. It was very, as I said earlier, very high quality cohort of applicants for the first year. we don't have any questions. I thought we might get some questions in the chat box, but we haven't received any. But maybe I'll finish up by talking. I introduced the prize earlier during my opening comments. I should say a bit about the practicalities of the prize. As you've heard, it involves the submission of an extended abstract and a short video, which can be uploaded through a dedicated portal. And that information, I'm sure, can be provided by Maria or others at IDF. The prize includes an honorarium for first, second, and third place getters, an opportunity, as you've heard, to present your work at the IDF World Dairy Summit, which this year is being held in Chicago, in the USA, in mid-October, a bit later than last year's summit. So there is plenty of time. The prize also includes travel support to assist each of the place getters to attend the World Dairy Summit. And I'm sure all those three place getters who are with us today appreciated that support to get to India and this year to get to Chicago. So it's quite a generous award, generous prize. I should call it a prize. So all I can say is I encourage anyone listening and those who might listen to the recording of this webinar to put in your application. Just got a comment from Annabelle. So there doesn't appear to be any other comments or questions. Let me finish by thanking our three place getters from 2022. It's great to hear very positive perspectives. I guess it was the first year of the award, and I was expecting a few maybe teething problems, but it sounds like it went extremely well. You all seem all very happy. So I hope we can build on that for 2023. Thank you to all three of you for participating and contributing. Let me now hand back to Maria or Annabelle, I guess, to finish up. And thank you to all the participants for listening in.